Roll call, please.
Ms. Lawson? Ms. Lawson?
She's trying. I know, she just texted, she's trying.
Oh, okay. Ms. Curry? Here. Ms. Scott?
She should be on.
Ms. Reed?
Here.
Mr. Scott?
Here.
Ms. Creech?
Here.
Mr. Flanagan Bay?
Here.
Dr. McMillan?
Here.
Ms. Lawson?
Well,
How about Ms. Scott?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. They had to make us panelists so that we could be unmuted. And I think Ms. Lawson is probably still transitioning.
she is. All rise for the flag salute, please.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Buell, do we have any moments of silence?
We do not.
Okay, thank you. We had an executive session tonight to discuss personnel matters. Do we have any announcements? See, any presentations? None?
Yes, we have two.
Hi, yes, Dixon has their Spirit Award presentations today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Proceed.
Okay, thank you. The Spirit Award is for students who most exemplify the 5 Ps, which are prompt, prepared, polite, productive, and proud. Students were chosen from the nomination given by teachers. We feel these 4 students have demonstrated hard work, determination, and perseverance. It is now with pride that we honor these 4 students with the Spirit Awards. Kiasia Noden, William Ferguson, Beckett Siako, and Emma-Jean Watson. I will now share my screen for a short presentation.
Woo! This is the life. I could just have my assistant principal do everything. Miss Jacobs! Yes? The Spirit Awards is in 5 minutes. That they are. Chop chop. Oh, you see if the classroom's ready? Miss Jacobs! Hi, Miss Jacobs. How are you? Not very good at the moment. What? You do that? No, the the Spirit Awards are in 5 minutes. Do you have anything ready? Oh, gee. Guys, the Spirit Award is in 5 minutes. You got me not having something. Okay. Blue team. Give me an S. S. Give me a P. P. No,
So we are going to surprise our Spirit Award winners. They have no idea. And I hope they realize how awesome this is going to be. Mr. Combs needs one of these. Excuse me. Hi. Kaisha. Where's Kaisha? Kaisha, you really need to come up here, hon. I don't know about, you guys probably know about the Spirit Awards, right? No. Okay, so students are chosen every year and they're honored at the board meeting. We gotta glam you up a little bit, hon. You know, because there you go. Yeah. All right, and you got a little wand. Because everyone should have one. I got it. Oh, yeah. Kaisha won Spirit Award. I think we all know that you deserve it. Oh, I'm very proud of you. Kaisha. All right. Hang on. Comes with a nice little certificate there made by yours truly. And a nice little $25 gift certificate to Barnes and Noble. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I need for you to sign something. So, we got Spirit Award recipient number 2 from Ms. Bulmer's class. And this is going to be fun. Of course, I hope he's in there. Okay, back. Is back in here? Okay, all right. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, are you ready? Hi, guys. So, Beckett Chiyoko, I need your presents right up here front and center. Beckett? I am a very busy woman. I do not have a What's this for? Wow. You know, how many of you guys know what the Spirit Awards are? No. Okay. Spirit Awards are nominated by teachers, chosen by admin. Here, everyone needs a wand. Ms. Vollmer, you need one of these. Yeah, we're going to celebrate. Celebrate. And Beckett has been chosen as one of the 4 recipients for the Spirit Awards. Give it up for Beckett. There you go. Oh, come on. You guys can do better than that. You guys didn't have your coffee yet, did you? All right. Give it up for congratulations, Beckett. And thank you. I think I forgot to put Beckett's glasses on his face. Oh well. Here we go. Should I tell Jennifer Here you go. Yes. Okay, cool.
Hello.
Why you taking a video?
Why would I be taking a video?
All right. Back to hello.
What's up?
I think you need this
Happy birthday.
because we're gonna celebrate.
Celebrate what?
I would like to see William Ferguson and Imogen Watson up here, please.
It's
Wow,
your birthday.
now.
Are you guys familiar with the Spirit Awards? You're gonna love these. They leave feathers everywhere. We gotta glam you up just a little bit, okay?
Woo! Happy birthday!
Right? And you guys, you need some kind of, oh, you don't want that. I had my mouth on it. Okay, let's glam you up a little bit. Be the rock stars you are. Why are they rock stars? Because these two are two of the 4 students chosen for the Spirit Awards this year.
What's that?
Spirit Awards are nominated by teachers, chosen by admin, and they are given to those students that we feel do the 5 Ps. Anybody can tell me the 5 Ps?
What's teachers?
Polite,
Productive, proud, prompt. Yeah.
And that's the Wolverine way.
Have a pretty
William, congratulations. Imogen, congratulations. To Amazon. Give it up for That's not working.
Thank you. We are proud of all of you all. Keep up the good work and thank you for your support of Woodland Hills School District. And that concludes our presentation. Once again, congratulations, Kiesha Noden, William Ferguson, Becky Siako, and Imogen Watson.
Dr. Hurt. Ms. McLean?
Not the only one celebrating success. So this is Jake, I'm Eileen, I'm food service director for your district. And we wanted to talk a little bit about our employee recognition program that we had implemented starting in January.
Yeah, so as a way to show gratitude to our staff, we decided to present recognition awards each business quarter by selecting 3 cafeteria employees who have exemplified the core values held by the nutrition group and present them with $50 gift cards as well as a personalized cake and cookies. The whole staff takes a moment to celebrate the chosen employee and the nice treat. Tonight, we want to honor 3 women who deserve all the credit in the world for their dedication to our students and to each other. First, we would like to honor Deirdre, who works out of Dixon Elementary. Deirdre was awarded for her deeply caring nature and attitude. Deirdre is a tough woman. She tells it like it is, and she won't sugarcoat things. But let me be the first to tell you, Deirdre will always be there, first in line to help a student or a fellow coworker. Whether it's providing a gentle presence for an upset student, or teaching a new employee, maybe even providing a good laugh, Deirdre is always available to provide a helping hand. Second, we want to recognize Janine, who works out of Turtle Creek. We want to recognize Janine for her teamwork. As we all know, the past year has been especially difficult on workforces across the nation, and ours has been no different. When the kitchen leader at Turtle Creek had to take a leave of absence, Janine stepped up to the plate and led an already understaffed kitchen without error. Thanks to Janine, our students never missed a meal. Third, we want to award Marcy, who works out of the high school, for her quality of work. Marcy takes a special pride in creating picturesque wraps, sandwiches, and salads. Marcy makes absolute certain that all of the ingredients in each meal she prepares are top quality. Additionally, Marcy works diligently in her role as the staff scheduler, handling call-offs and aiding in staff rearrangements. Marcy really cares, and that care most certainly shines through her quality of work. So in closing, we just want to take one last moment to thank all three of these women for being exemplary employees. If you're ever at one of these schools, don't hesitate to look at their name tag, see who we're talking about, and say, hey, thank you for your service, because I guarantee you they will appreciate it so, so much. And also, I just want to let you guys know that we'll be presenting 3 more of these awards at the end of May before school lets out, just because we want to get that in for them. So thank you guys for your time.
Ms. Pugh, do we have any registered speakers? Okay. Mr. Wilson, has Ms. Lawson been able to join us yet?
Yes, sir, but she is not yet. Oh, there she is. She's on the panelist now.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Thanks,
She
Ms.
joined
Lawson.
at 7:40.
Got it. Dr. Stagner, ready to go.
Yes, under board matters, next Wednesday, we'll be asking for a motion and a second to approve 3 items. The first is the third and final reading of the procurement cards. Again, this has been something that you've all have seen and discussed before. This will give us the final reading, then we'll seek approval to actually initiate this process. The second, this was a recent policy recommended from the PSBA involving student discipline for off-campus activities. When PSBA recommends an adoption of a new policy, you pretty much cookie cutter your district name into that policy and accept it, because there are rules and regulations from the state that are coming down that follow these new language and adoption. So there are some outlines there of what circumstances should be identified as things we as a district should handle. Again, we'll ask for approval next week. The last is the alternative meals, new revisions from the PSBA coming from the state, that the revised meals for students that have insufficient funds in their accounts. The rules for alternative lunches you can provide are changing based upon if you have qualified for National School Lunch Program and so on. So again, motion a second next week to approve those. Any questions about any of those?
No questions.
Curriculum, Mr. Wilson, if you want to come up,
Absolutely, sir.
and I obviously can help you on the first item if you want to discuss that first, and then I'll chime in whatever we need there.
For sure, absolutely. I think we're probably good, but 3.1 is we seek permission at the April 13th, 2022 agenda setting meeting to partner with Vex Robotics to implement district-wide STEM computer science robotics program. The program's total cost will be $136,278 to come from ESSER 2 funds, unless we receive funding through the PA Smart Grant. So we were, a couple of things to say about this. One is that we are a sub-grantee listed under a PA Smart Grant, a $500,000 PA Smart Grant application. Elizabeth Ford is the primary applicant. We're listed as a sub-grantee, and this full cost would be covered if we, in collaboration with Elizabeth Ford, were to get that grant. So we're hopeful that they get the grant and then we're awarded the amount. However, if we're not awarded the amount, we do have the funds in the ESSER 2 fund to cover this. Vex Robotics is an amazing organization. I've spoken with several folks, including Mr. Kim, who used Vex Robotics in Derry. Ms. Scott and I had the pleasure of joining the Vex Robotics team in their offices and viewing their resources that they offer. One of the big bonuses for Vex Robotics specifically is that they are local and offer PD directly to our teachers. They've offered to come join all of our PTO meetings for our schools so that they can explain to parents what's happening. They've offered to put products in our libraries so that the parents, teachers, any stakeholders for the district can come and view the supplies and the resources. And then this quote, I included the quote in the tab. The quote includes robotic systems, K-12, as I mentioned, that'll be used, I believe it's 3 per grade level in each of our buildings to really allow us to meet the claim that we are STEAM academies and a STEAM district. So we're very excited to be able to do that. And we're working closely with Vex Robotics to name what that plan will look like, what the curriculum will look like across the board. But their products are extremely solid and extremely highly recommended by professionals in the field.
Only thing I would add to that is this is a program for all students. So every student in the district will have exposure to this true STEM curriculum continuum, kindergarten through 12th grade. There is accelerated attachments to this that the gifted students can use and go into other areas that are new and upcoming. And we also have a program that we're collaborating with Robert Morris University to possibly create an additional AP course at the high school level that is a result of the final part of the continuum of this curriculum. So it is a complete solution, true STEM program, and I'm happy we're considering that tonight so we can begin implementing the training we need to get this launched for the first day of school.
Yeah, that was the only other thing I was going to mention is that we do ask that you please vote on this tonight so that we can have the resources in buildings in time for the last day of professional development for the year. So the last day of school is the Friday prior to Memorial Day. And then the Tuesday following Memorial Day is our last day of professional development. We would very much like to have the kits in the hands of educators for that day so that we can build some PD around that day and they can move into the summer and some of that curriculum writing that we talked about last month, or that we'll talk about again tonight and we talked about at committee, to start building out the curriculum and what it looks like in the fall.
We'll have a motion, and then if there's any questions from the board, we'll entertain that. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Reed, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Creech. Are there any questions?
I just have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Any idea when they'll receive approval or a notification of when this grant would be received?
Oh, the PA Smart Grant over the summer. So it was, the application was due in, I believe, April 1. It was the very end of March, beginning of April. So we'll know sometime in June or July whether or not they received the fund.
Okay, any other questions?
Great question.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Lawson,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Dr. McMillan,
Yes.
Ms. Curry,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Flanagan Bay,
Yes.
Ms. Creech,
Yes.
Mr. Belmont.
Yes. Motion carries.
Wonderful. Thank you all. We'll put in that order tomorrow and then that way we'll have something to show you in June. So that's wonderful.
Sounds good. 3.2.
3.2, we seek approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit, Head Start and Pre-K Counts programs in partnership with Trying Together and the United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania to support best practices and transition to kindergarten. This is an annual MOU. The board has approved this every year for the last several years. This is in conjunction with the High Five grant. The IU helps us with our transitions to kindergarten. Questions? Okay. 3.3, we seek approval to allocate up to $5,000 out of the curriculum budget in the 22-23 school year for additional FCS supplies at Dixon. So you all just saw in that amazing video, our FCS room at Dixon, it has 4 full commercial operation kitchens. It is an amazing and wonderful space. Originally, the FCS course in the middle school was a year-long course. So they averaged between 80 and 100 students total for the entire year in that FCS course. Since we moved to a teaming schedule, we've increased the number of kids taking FCS by 5 times. So originally the budget was $1,000 total for FCS. We want to increase that to $5,000 so that the 500 scholars taking FCS next year can benefit from all of the different amazing projects that Ms. Zebro, the FCS teacher, does. Can I answer any questions on that? Okay. 3.4, we seek approval to renew our data sharing partnership with the Allegheny County Library Association to ensure that every new scholar to the district receives a library card. Anybody that has children in the district knows that this year, every single scholar in the district received a library card. We are the first district in the state of Pennsylvania to actually make that happen, and we're extremely excited by that. To continue that for all of our new scholars, we have to have a new data sharing agreement with the Allegheny County Library Association so that any new entrants automatically receive a library card.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have any data that shows maybe usages?
So far, we do not, but I can ask Allegheny County for any data that they have. I don't have access to their system, but I know that they have a pretty robust system. So I will happily ask them for whatever data they may have. It's a great question.
I know my son was using it tonight. Is it Swissville Library Anime Club? Yes.
I just wondered if there was a drawing day, perhaps, if we had specific,
Yeah.
how in the elementaries, they have a, what's it called, like our library fairs, and kids got excited about it.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know if, maybe they had specific days where it was a drawing day to encourage kids to use the cards or anything.
It's a great question. I'm gonna make sure we ask our ACLA representative. I will say, I know that the intern that we helped to fund the salary for has been extremely active in all 5 of our buildings, sharing the resources of local libraries, telling kids about the different events happening at Swissvale, CC Miller, and Braddock. And we're extremely excited. Her name is Taylor, and she's been doing some great work in all of our buildings. 3.5, we seek permission to approve summer curriculum writing postings. These are, again, a posting that we ask for approval for every year. We're actually a month ahead of schedule this year, which is a blessing. But we allocate time up to 20 hours for specific groups of educators who will be designing either additional curriculum or professional development or working on a specific project for the district. So this year, right now, we know of the instructional coaches are going to meet with me to plan professional development for next year. The tech coaches are going to be working hard to ensure that Chromebooks are prepared for the fall. The middle school math teachers are going to be working on the math curriculum, reviewing all the resources and ensuring that the scope and sequence are prepared for those for 6th through 8th grade. So we're really excited to be able to do this and to name those individuals well in advance of the summer. We will likely have some more in May if we have additional educators that have ideas for what they want to do in the fall, just to prepare you. 3.6, we seek approval to renew our memorandum of understanding with Communitopia to facilitate the work of the Climate Change Committee. I will never miss an opportunity to remind you that we were the first district in the state of Pennsylvania to pass a climate action resolution, and we are the only district in the state, to my knowledge, that has a climate action team and hosts a climate action summit. The Climate Action Summit, for anybody interested in attending, is happening April 30th, 2022 at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. We are extremely proud of the work that we do regarding climate action here in the district. And in order to do that, we rely heavily on a third-party nonprofit, Communitopia, to help spearhead some of our professional development and some of our grant writing. And this MOU, it's a completely no cost to the district, but it makes sure that we name Communitopia as our partner doing that. Yes, sir.
I'd like to recognize you and Mr. Finney for your dedication throughout this entire process. Last night, we had a planning meeting that centered on solar panels. And Mr. Wilson, I appreciate your enthusiasm, Mr. Finney, your attention to detail on our next steps. And Mr. Wilson, would you please recognize the teachers who were in attendance last night and who have been in attendance in our monthly meetings?
Absolutely. I am extremely proud of the work of several of our educators on that team. Miss Kathy Pearson is the gifted educator at Turtle Creek, and she has just done amazing things with our scholars there. Miss Jill Curristory is at both Edgewood and at Dixon. I am blanking on Casey Berg's name, but Casey Berg is another educator that was on the call and that is new to the team this year. And then Tim Hallenstein is my daughter's science teacher actually at Dixon, so I'm super proud of that. He's our one of our sixth grade science teachers at Dixon, and is an amazing educator. And if you haven't seen the raised beds that he completely facilitated by himself at Dixon, right in the drop off and pickup line, they're amazing. I highly recommend you go check them out.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. 3.7, we seek approval to pay for 50% of the salary and benefits for a restorative practices coordinator, an RPC, provided by the University of Pittsburgh at Dixon STEAM Academy for the 22-23 school year at a cost to the district of $41,280 from ESSER 3 funds. This is simply another resource that we'll use for the PBIS and RTI interventions that we have going on at Dixon. Many of you will remember that we've been partnering with the Center for Urban Ed for many years now, and Mr. Sean, as well as Dr. Jay Hughley, who runs that department, have been helping us out with restorative practices and restorative justice. This year, they moved their team to Turtle Creek to provide some additional supports there. And through conversations with Dr. Pert, through conversations with Dr. Hughley and Mr. Sean, and after Mr. Butler moved to the DC region, we recognized the need to bring some more support back, specifically with regards to restorative practice and restorative justice at Dixon. So Ms. Golden and I submitted this board tab in collaboration to bring those back.
With it being ESSER 3 funds, how long?
So that's why we had to put a very specific time in there. So this tab is very specific just to next year. And much like we have at Turtle Creek, the individual that will come on board will do a lot of professional development so that we can build our own capacity internally and organically. We do have ESSER funding through September of 2024. So if we decided to bring this person back for one more year, then we could certainly do that. Beyond that, we don't have any funding allocated to continue with this person, and we very much want them to work with our staff to build up our own internal capacity for the restorative practices work in between now and then. Great questions. Yes, sir.
Are we collecting any type of data, either qualitative, especially that would help us to determine the effect of such a thing, even moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir. So we are collecting data both as part of our agreement with Pitt. I mean, that's a big part of one of their interests in partnering with us, is that they then get data on the effectiveness of their programming. And then, as we've talked about many times, I don't want to continue anything that we don't have data that shows it's effective. So we are specifically looking at discipline incidents and incident logs, as well as our out of school suspension and in school suspension data, and chronic absenteeism and attendance rates for scholars that are a part of our restorative practice. Ms. Golden, anything to add? Great questions. Okay. The last tab that I have this evening, we're a little heavy on curriculum tabs, and I am grateful for you and your flexibility. But we seek approval to purchase the Reveal math curriculum from McGraw-Hill to fully replace the middle grades math curriculum for the next 6 years. The total cost will be $102,098.16 to come from ESSER 2 funds, and we have an attached quote there. This is for anybody that has been following the board and the district for the last 3 years. You'll know that prior to me coming on board, the former assistant superintendent implemented Eureka Math at the middle school without seeking any guidance or collaboration from the middle school math teachers. And the middle school math teachers spoke pretty vocally and publicly about their disapproval of the middle school math curriculum, and that they did not think that it was the right curriculum for our students. Again, before I was here, there was an agreement reached with that former board that we would wait 3 years before looking at a new curriculum. This is year 3. I put together a team of math educators from Dixon, as well as the instructional coach at Dixon, to review several different products out there, including the product that they currently have. And they have requested this curriculum reveal from McGraw-Hill, which is, it's a pretty phenomenal curriculum. So I'm excited for it. It is teacher selected, and I think that it's going to be great for our scholars moving forward.
Just
Vote.
curious,
Yes, ma'am.
is this a combination of, like printed and electronic or online?
It absolutely is. Yep. So much like our new high school science curriculum, there will be hard copy textbooks. There will also be hard copy workbooks. But then the thing that I'm most excited about is that everything merges in well with Google Classroom and is available for scholars on Chromebooks. Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilson, please pass along a thank you to the teachers that did all the work on this. And I think it bodes well that if this was teacher selected, that we're going to hit the ground running when you guys get this.
I agree completely. Yes, sir. And I just a couple of shout outs, specifically Mr. Bill Coles and Miss Melissa Broadwater at Dixon. They kind of spearheaded the efforts to review curriculum, and they spent countless hours outside of the school day, just looking at what would be most effective for our scholars. So shout out to them.
Any other questions for Mr. Wilson? Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Special education.
Good evening, everyone. I have 2 tabs to present to you today. 4.1, we seek approval to ratify the tuition agreement with Wesley Schools for one district student attending Wesley Kindergarten in Monroeville at a monthly tuition rate of $3,700. Start date was January 14th, and the end date will be June 7th. Wesley Kindergarten in Monroeville is a new program that is being offered by Wesley. It's for both students with IEPs as well as regular ed students who are really lacking those basic elementary kindergarten skills. The program is geared to provide intense supports during a very short period of time with the intention of the child returning to their neighborhood school by the end of the school year. Any questions? 4.2. We seek approval to ratify a tuition agreement with Police School for the remainder of the 21-22 school year at a cost of $3,750 per month to end on June 10th, 2022. PLE is a licensed private academic school that provides full-time autistic support for our children that we are unable to provide an intense level of support for. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Sackel, and glad
Thanks.
you're doing well.
Thank
Good to
you.
have you back.
Pupil personnel, Ms. Golden.
Evening, everyone. The Office of Pupil Personnel has 2 items for board approval, consideration and approval. The first is we seek approval to accept the worksite agreement between the Woodland Hills School District and Auberly for the Learn and Earn program. And the Learn and Earn program is a 6-week summer employment program for Allegheny County teens ages 14 to 21. The district partners with Auberly not only to provide the opportunity for students to take advantage of the program, but also as a summer work site. And I'd just like to acknowledge Mr. Finney because he was very open and willing to afford our students this opportunity to be a work site. So to make it easier and more convenient for them to take advantage of the program. Anyone have any questions? Okay. The second item is we seek approval to dispose of outdated nursing equipment. Basically, the equipment is outdated. It's not being used by our nursing staff. The equipment includes an old ambulatory bag that's too large for them to get to an emergency if they needed to, an outdated audiometer, a brace solution pack that's unable to be used because it doesn't have all the necessary parts to it, and a vision light up stand, which is also outdated. I have been in contact with Dr. Conti, and he is willing to take those things as a donation so that we are, we're not disposing of it. So that's where we are with that. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm sorry, I do, but I missed it on the 5.1. I apologize. Is that the right one? Yes, about the work site.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. When it comes to hiring the students, is that going just through Learn to Earn and they assign, or are you all a
It's-
part of that process?
It's pretty much through them, but they also, the good thing is that the students that participate at our work site are our students. They haven't come from any other school district. Thank you.
Personnel, Ms. Boyd?
Good evening. So personnel has 4 voting items this evening, well, 1 voting item this evening, but I do have 4 tabs I would like to review. First one being 6.1, we seek permission to hire Ms. Jill Regan as the Woodland Hills Business Manager and Board Secretary with an effective date to be determined, but we're looking at a June start date. So,
Is there a
Mr. Belmont?
motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Reed. Is there a second? Second by Dr. McMillan. Any questions? Ms. Boyd, do you want any further comment?
No, unless Dr. Stackman would like to.
Yes, obviously, this is probably the most important hire we have made to date since I've been here. We were very excited when we received the pool of applicants, that we had so many applicants and narrowed it down, and are very proud to make this recommendation of Ms. Regan tonight. Not only do I think she was a strong applicant here in the district, I think she's one of the best in our area. Her experience coming from first a very small school district where she had to take on multiple tasks. You don't really have help or assistance. And she ran that effectively and turned the budget around, to then going to Uniontown City School District, which has a lot of similar needs that we have in our community here with a substantial sized budget, to then moving on to the Moon Area School District with almost $90 million budget. And again, having success in increasing revenues and reducing expenditures. So we are extremely proud of this recommendation. Happy to get the opportunity to work together and move this district forward, and know that she has tremendous shoes to fill in Ms. Schaefer. And all that Val has done and her passion for this community and this district, I think she's a perfect fit to work with Val to transition, and I'm excited for the opportunity for her to be with us. So I hope we can support this recommendation.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Castagna. Roll call, please.
The online one to work.
Okay.
For everybody, let me know.
How much fun to have a partner?
Did everybody get the pop-up?
Ms. Lawson, did you get the pop-up? Oh, I got it. Thank you.
Yes, I did. I respond. Yes.
Yes, I just got it. Thank you.
You're good.
Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Ms. Regan. Come on up for a couple.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank every member of the board for this wonderful opportunity. I look extremely forward to joining this team. I'm excited to come here and join what I see a wonderful team that you have in administrators. I can't tell you how excited I am to work with Dr. Castagna. I think we're going to do great work here. I look forward to moving the district forward financially, but also academically. I think it's extremely important that those two things are married. If you don't spend the money on the students, then how are we moving the students forward? That's what we produce here. We produce students to become wonderful members of society. That is our goal. So I look forward to this wonderful opportunity to work with you, to get to know you all better, to get to know all of you better. And especially thanks to Angel for, giving me that call. So maybe I'll get one of these special awards one of these days at Spirit Award. So looking
questions
forward to
for-
that. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Any questions for Ms. Regan?
Yep.
I,
Thank you.
I have a quick question. for
Okay,
you. I
sure.
think you indicated that your commute out to Moon from where you live, this could be better for you.
Oh, much better.
How
Yes, it
much
was
better?
an hour from where I live. I live in South Park, so it's an
Ooh.
hour to the airport down 79 out
Yeah.
the Parkway. I replaced my windshield twice with debris coming at me, and this is just straight down River Road, half
Yeah.
hour. So yes,
That'll
yeah,
be-
so
That's a,
very excited for that. Yes,
it's a quality of life improvement.
that's right. That's right.
Thank you.
My dog will be happy. I'll get home a little quicker. So thank you very much.
Sure.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on to 6.2, Section B, authorization for retirements and resignations. Section D, authorization for hire non-professional staff. Section F, authorization for EDR mentor actions. And Section G, authorization for miscellaneous. Any questions?
If there's any questions, we'll have to go to executive session.
Right.
Seeing none.
I would like to highlight some of our retirees that are included in this
Sure.
month's board tabs, please. Mr. Chris Lorette, he is a music teacher at the high school. Mr. Ed Erickson is a fifth grade teacher at Turtle Creek. And Ms. Dr. Pam Allen, she is an English teacher with us at the high school. So I want to say congratulations to all those folks. And just, highlight them. I don't know if they're on, but I try to tell them.
I love Mr. Erickson.
All right, moving on to 6.3. We seek approval for Mr. Tim Boster to continue his appointment as football head coach at the high school at a salary of $12,000 effective for the 22-23 season. Any questions? Okay, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I didn't know you wanted to say a few words.
I highly recommend Coach Foster. He runs some table out of season, he keeps the boys engaged throughout the entire school year. And he's really invested in making sure that they have futures after the window. So I highly recommend.
Thank you, Angie, I appreciate that. And finally, 6.4, we seek permission to allow Sarah Keeler to work as an outside contractor for the PIMS Child Accounting Services at a rate of $43 an hour. Any questions regarding personnel tasks? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd.
Technology, Mr. Kim.
All right, we got a few things to talk about today. 7.1, we seek approval to accept the Wilson Group proposal for outside printing services. This is something that we put out a RFP for last month. We ended up receiving 2 bids. The lowest bidder, which was the Wilson Group, is the same vendor that we previously worked with. So it'll be the same interface that the teachers see and similar pricing that we previously paid. Questions? 7.2, we seek approval to purchase 35 interactive monitors at a cost of $122,000 or $122,500 utilizing ESSER's 3 grant money. And this will finish the installation of the Promethean boards throughout our district. So every classroom will now have an up-to-date Promethean board in the classrooms. 7.3, we seek permission to dispose of old archive board meeting videos that do not meet our video retention policy. Currently, our video retention policies doesn't have a set concrete date. And according to our solicitors, that's something that we should take a look at because if we got hit with the ADA for not having the words going across the bottom of the videos, or if we got a right to know, then that's something that the school district would have to go back through and look at all of those videos. So the solicitor suggests that we get a policy that we either only do every, 3 months or sooner.
How old are the videos that you're trying?
Currently, we hold videos going the whole way back past 2012.
And the reason again for?
Really to protect us as far as a right to know request. So that way, technically somebody could put in a right to know and we would have to go back as far as we keep the records and look through all those videos for anything that anybody wanted. And the bigger one is for ADA as far as, not having the words on the videos and having it posted on our website. So technically that's not in ADA compliance. So that leaves us open for legal liability.
That last part. The first part of what you said, I see nothing wrong with being able, having material to be able to go back and search for whatever is being searched for. So the last one, again, that ADA,
Correct.
was not at the bottom of the video?
So any video that you have posted online, it has to have the words scrolling across so that
It has the words what?
scrolling across.
Strolling across?
Yeah, closed captioning.
Closed caption.
Okay.
Can we do that now?
So they can't be transcribed?
Kind of confused.
They could if we had somebody to type everything out.
I have a question about that. So I know only some parts you would be able to respond to, but with that, the ADA, what would it, there are technologies that our videos could run through that could close caption the videos, correct? Or have you looked into that at all? What it would take to do that? Do you have a sense of what it would cost to do something like that?
I do not have a sense of what it costs, but there is software out there that could do it, but at a cost, as you suggested.
Okay, so we would have to assess what that cost would be and whether it be worth that or not, correct?
Correct.
Is just a point of order, is this under the right category? Because is this a technology issue? This seems more, I don't know if this is, under technology, we would be asking you to do something with the videos, but we haven't actually discussed whether we wanted to, whether that's even a thing that we would deal with or not. So I don't know whether, we don't have a solicitor.
It does say, doesn't meet our video retention policy. So it's a policy question, not a technology question, I guess, right? But I guess he would, whatever the policy decides, he's gonna be the guy that enforces it, right? So we're not gonna go in there and physically delete videos. It would be you doing it, which is maybe why I found you, but it definitely, you have to change the policy first.
Right.
Before you.
And we do already have a policy for that. So I guess right now, and I don't have it up in front of me, but we're not enforcing our own policy by keeping the videos for as long as we are. So really, it's just stating that we would like to follow our current policy.
So we'll address the policy. If you could look into the
Closed
closed
captioning.
caption, then I think we're good.
Roger.
Yeah. And I'd like to add that whatever the final results is, I can't see deleting videos. I mean, it says that the board notes, what is board agenda, what is it?
The minutes.
Minutes, board minutes, thank you, would suffice.
Correct.
Board minutes don't have what the community gets up here and speak about, especially verbatim. And I think that would be a disservice to the people who have been up here to speak in the past, to just erase their feelings, their insights about how we do things and what has happened here in this district.
Yeah, in addition, I'd like to say, especially since the majority of us are new board members, like it's also helpful to have those recordings for new board members. In just 3 months, that's not going to be helpful. So yeah, I'd look at changing the policy so that we can retain those videos.
Mr. Scott, with your indulgence, want to put this on your policy committee for May? Continue discussion and figure it out. Thank you, Mr. Kim.
You're welcome. All right, 7.4, we seek approval to sign a letter of intent between the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit and Woodland Hills School District to enter into a 3-year agreement with Cisco Systems for purchase of Cisco DNS Advantage, also known as Umbrella, effective through June 30th, 2024 at an approximate annual cost of $8,274 utilizing ESSER3 grant money. And what this would help do is any machine that would happen to become infected, it would immediately point it out to us. That way we're able to rectify the issue. 7.5, we seek approval to renew the district's contract agreement with Service Express for 1 year at a cost of $947.40. And what this does is if anything happens to our servers, they'll send out a technician within 4 hours and replace whatever part goes bad. 7.6, we seek approval to apply for 1,600 Chromebooks through the Federal Emergency Connectivity Funding, ECF, via Vivacity Tech at no cost to the district. The savings to the district will be $636,800. And how this will work is through the ECF. This is actually wave 3, and there's still a little bit over $1 billion through the federal government. So we'll buy our equipment through Vivacity, and then Vivacity will bill the government. So no funds will come through the district at all.
I'm not sure if you know this, but is there any, I don't want to say intent, but kind of concerning the Chromebooks? I mean, are we replacing the ones that we have? Are there a lot of damaged Chromebooks or just taking advantage of this opportunity?
Yes, so we're taking advantage of both getting rid of some of the older Chromebooks that we have that are over 4 years old, while also the goal right now is to replace, as long as they come in on time with the back order, is to replace all K through 5 and give them new Chromebooks at the start of the year.
Okay, so would any of these be able to be used for teachers at all? Or I don't know what type, they have Chromebooks, don't they?
Teachers currently have laptops, and I'm not 100% right now if they all have Chromebooks, but yes, if they didn't, then that's something that we could use some of the older ones for.
That'll be part of our budget discussions too, that we have to get into very soon. You know, what devices do we have? How old are they? Like you do curriculum review cycles, you also do technology supply cycles, because you know the end date and the use on this stuff isn't very far off. And if you don't plan for taking a bit every couple of years, you get hit hard at one point where a bunch of devices don't work. So, and Mr. Kim will have that as part of our budget proposal.
Yep. All right, 7.7, we seek approval to lease 100 desktop computers for our front office personnel across the district with SHI at an annual cost of $18,992.70 with a $1 buyout at the end of the lease. And as Dr. Castagna was just saying, this is just really to get a cycle set to replace equipment on a set schedule. Currently, our staff is using computers that are a little bit over 5 years old and they're at the lower end of the spectrum as far as performance. So in order for them to maximize their performance, this is something that would definitely help. 7.8, we seek permission to lease one Sharp MX 3071 copier for the Carnegie Free Library of Swissvale at a cost of $122 per month. Currently, they already have a lease that will be ending, and this will be replacing the new lease at a little less of a cost. Any questions for that? 7.9, we seek permission to renew support on a data center Cisco phone system at a cost of $1,338.27 from the General Fund 10 for 2 months. And originally they wanted us to renew for 12 months at a cost of $27,000. And I know that's a little bit more than we currently had budgeted this year because we needed newer equipment. So I was able to talk them into just extending for the 2 months. That way we can not only budget for what we need, but also reevaluate exactly what we want to do with our phone system. 7.10, we seek approval to purchase 1,190 Chromebooks from ChromebookParts.com at a cost of $13,000 from ESSER3 funding utilizing PEPM pricing, and I should say $130,000. But what this will do is it's already something that we had previously budgeted for. And we also have money budgeted for next year as well. And with those ECF funds, now that's something that will free up money going forward that we can utilize going into next year for other things that will help our scholars out.
If I'm doing the math right, we have 3,200 students in our district.
Yes.
And these two tabs, we're going to be getting 2,800 Chromebooks.
Correct. So now we'll have new devices throughout throughout the district. And originally that was the previous plan. It was just to utilize ESSER3 as well next year. So now that money that we have already budgeted through ESSER3, we won't have to buy new Chromebooks this year since we're utilizing those for the ECF.
So for those of you keeping score at home, when the pandemic started, as some of you folks remember, we struggled hard to get Chromebooks for everybody. And thanks to Dr. Woods and starting the campaign to get Chromebooks at the high school, that then led to more Chromebooks and more. And now all of a sudden we're replacing Chromebooks and we're going to have, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
Thank you for all that.
One thing to remember too is since I started and Ryan Zoko has been doing a great job with fixing the Chromebooks. So I believe he started in September, and since then he replaced over already, well, not replaced, but fixed over 1,200 Chromebooks. So there are a lot of incidents happening too, and what is why we're looking to purchase a lot as well.
Yeah, I'm sure you can't keep up with all that.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Thank you.
Okay, nothing in safety and security. So food, service and transportation, Ms. Schaefer.
Okay, board tab 9.1. We are asking the board to actually vote on this tonight. We seek permission to enter into an agreement with Christ Transportation to provide, I'm sorry, there's a typo there, supplemental transportation for the district. Christ Transportation would be able to, they actually currently bus for Penn Hills, City of Pittsburgh. So when we have a couple routes that we're going to try to get set up with them so that we don't have a call off on first student. We don't have to panic and then suddenly alert the families and say, we don't have transportation today. So this is similar to what we asked the board to agree to last month. And that was with S&T Transportation and BME Transportation, so that we have supplemental sources to just first student to help us provide for the needs of our families. So that's why we were asking the board to agree to this. We'll also have an agreement the solicitor will review and ask you to approve next month. This is so we can go ahead and say, hey, Christ, we want to partner with you.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Creech, a second. Second by Mr. Scott. Are there any questions?
I just want to add one little piece to this. So on a call yesterday, Mr. Bowman, you were actually on that call too about the shared runs. The superintendent from Penn Hills was praising this company. You don't hear anybody praising those companies right now. So I was like, wow, that's great to hear. Number one. And number two, we're doing a three-pronged approach here. We have a current contract with our vendor where we have over 100 daily runs, which are currently we're filling 80 a day. So 20% of the contract isn't getting filled. We hope to enter in this agreement with this company. I've already approached that with the current vendor and saying, listen, we're going to take 20% of the contract you haven't filled all year, assign that to an additional vendor. They've accepted that. I'm actually trying to get it to 70, but they've accepted that already to amend the current terms of the agreement. And then the third approach will be the next motion where we look at some supplemental runs, athletic runs, and so on that we've had a problem with. So with these three in place, we believe next year, 90% of these issues we had are going to be resolved. So these are very important votes right now, and it's going to alleviate a lot of problems.
Yeah, as much as we don't like to add stuff and have it the proper public viewing to wait till the legislative meeting, this is time critical. Val has been doing yeoman's work all year, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, handling phone calls from families, the call offs by the drivers. It goes on and on. I mean, Val and I have talked at 6:30 in the morning. She's already been there for an hour trying to figure out what am I going to do today. So this is going to be a huge help in solving our problems. So Val, thank you for all that. Roll call, please.
Not working, sorry.
Ms. Scott?
Sorry, was that Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Yes.
Dr. McMillan?
Yes.
Ms. Curry? Yes. Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Flanagan Bay?
Yes.
Ms. Creech?
Yes.
Ms. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Belmont?
Yes. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Board tab 9.2, this is where we seek permission to ratify the agreements for BME Transit and SD Transit as supplemental transportation carriers for the district on an as-needed basis at the same rates as charged by the district's primary transportation carrier, excuse me. I just want to add one note here too with SD Transit. They did say they would commit a bus just for our activities, 72 bus. However, rather than paying an activity rate, we agreed that we would pay the regular rate so they could dedicate that bus to our athletic program. Any questions? Okay, 9.3, we seek permission to contract with Nutrition Inc. as the district's food service management company for 2022, 2023. Several months, well, a few months ago, we actually asked the district to, the board to let us bid. Let me start over. We asked the board members to let us advertise for an RFP for a food service management company. This is actually a very structured process with the state. So of the two bids we received, Nutrition was the one that we felt that was awarded. In fact, the other company was disqualified because they used wrong revenue rates. They used old forms. I talked to the state about this. So the next step is to get the board's permission, and then we send it off to the state to get the state's approval.
So you just witnessed Val wearing her transportation hat, to the combi oven hat, like that. Yeah.
Okay, 9.4, we seek permission to award the bid for the combi oven RFP to, and I have this blank right now, we had the RFP opening today. We did receive two bids, so we're going to kind of analyze the cost and making sure that the specs are met. But I wanted to be able to put this as a placeholder to be able to be voted on next week. Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Shaver. Mr. Finney, Buildings and Grounds.
Good evening, everyone. I have 3 board tabs tonight, short and sweet for a change. 10.1, we request permission to enter into a 5-year contract with Collier Engineering and Design, Inc. for professional engineering services. This contract will run from January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2026. Rich Rosenberry has been with the school district for 5 years. The contract ended already, so he's been working with the school district for a couple months without a contract. And he's also really needed because he's going to be assisting me with the paving job at the high school. And other jobs that he's helped me is the Wolverina. When we had the hillside collapse, he was there to help us get that job done as well. So he's been really good with the school district and for myself as well. How long have you been on board? I'm sorry? How long is it? He's been on board with us for 5 years. Now his contract is ended. So we're asking for a new 5-year contract.
Was there 5 years? Was there any more time before the last 5 years?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Is it just a renewal of the same contract, or will there be some changes that we have to look at?
Well, there is no changes except for the price, which is a 2% increase each year.
Is this a position that typically has existed? So he took over for somebody else who took over for somebody else. Is this a position that's always existed, or was it?
Well, in other school districts that I've worked at, we've had the same thing as well.
Yeah, you basically assign an architect or engineer of record, and then any project that you want, you decide what they do in the scope of their work. But they're the basic only one that's gonna work directly for the district at our command.
Right.
Ten point two.
10.2, we seek approval to permit the use of the Woodland Hills School District facilities for the stated events. Any questions on rental? Ten point three, we are seeking approval to accept the proposal from Weatherproofing Technologies, Inc. in the amount of $1,268,155.34 for repairs at the Wolverina Stadium. Questions?
Mr. Finney touched on this in committee. This is a must-do project, or we won't have a football season.
What's being repaired?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
What's being repaired?
The Wolverine Stadium, the bleachers where our football players are at, the dressing room, the locker room is saturated. It's leaking from the bleachers. The stuff that was treated on the bleachers has failed. Back in 2007, when the renovation happened, the brick walls weren't sealed properly. There was no gutter system put onto the back of the building. So that's all fallen apart. If you look at the face of the Wolverine, it's all black. And that's from the rubber and all the water running over the wall because there was no gutter system put in place back in 2007 when the renovation was done. So there's a lot of water damage from the exterior getting inside, which is causing the beams to rust, water running down. I just spent over $9,000 for remediation to remove mold throughout the whole locker room. So it was pretty bad. And if we don't do this, the kids aren't gonna have a locker room.
Is it because of the mold that they won't have a locker room?
Well, it's because of the mold and it's becoming unsafe as well. We got concrete debris falling from the beams and everything else.
Is there any way to consistently to do enough work to ensure that the locker rooms are safe?
This company here, Tremco, that I've been working with, I've used them in other school districts. And I say this with all-hearted that they are going to do a good job for us. And there's a 20-year warranty on their work as well. There won't be no changeovers either. So I'm 100% on board with this company.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Finney.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Frankie, athletics.
We had a track meet today, waiting for the final results. We either beat McKeesport or came in really close. So I'm waiting for Coach Beard to update me. But I just have one, 11.1, we seek approval to accept equipment donation from Dick's Sporting Goods in the amount of $9,691.53. It was a donation that they reached out to us to accept, and it free of charge, and it consisted of 1 kettlebell connect, 2 dumbbell connects, 1 FID bench, 9 flat benches, 6 pair hexagon dumbbell racks, 16 hexagon steel 5-pound dumbbells, 1 hexagon steel dumbbell, and 1 Grand Tour bike. And the bike was at a cost of almost $1,300. So we had to accept that by April 1st, and it was delivered. And so now we're storing it in one of the empty locker rooms, waiting to hopefully put it up in the fitness center at some point. But really nice equipment, free equipment, brand new equipment. So we didn't want to pass up that deal. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Frankie, can you just give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Oh, if we want, yeah, I know, because 4x4 girls and boys won, 4x1 girls won, 800 girls won, so
200 girls won.
200 girls won. I think another big one won, so just all good things.
Okay, under the library. We're going to seek approval next week for this resolution concerning our National Library Month proclamation. It's attached and just again, we'll be making that for public view. Simple one. Any questions? 13 legal matters. Working to clean up old grievances from the spring of last year, fall of this year. And this is just a personnel matter that was agreed upon between our administration and union. So we'll be asking for approval for that next week. Then we're on to school finance.
14.1, we seek ratification of the bill list for invoices paid after the March 16th, 2022 legislative meeting. Any questions? 14.2, we seek approval of the April 2022 bill list. Any questions? 14.3, we seek the acceptance of the March 2022 fund financial reports and student activity reports for informational purposes. Any questions? And 14.4, we seek approval of the investment reports for March. Any questions?
Thank you.
Hey, just on a superintendent's report, no report, just an announcement that we have Shrek the Musical beginning. Obviously, it will be next Wednesday, it begins Thursday evening. There are 5 show dates, I believe, and we are excited for this year's production and hope we can all contribute and participate and be there in attendance to support our music program. Anything under old business? Sorry.
Anything under new business? Okay, reports.
I'm sorry, I have new business. No, I have new business. During the December 20th special legislative session, I raised questions regarding the termination of our contract with our former security company and abstained from voting on our current contract due to concerns I had with the change. That, along with the current push to destroy video of board meetings, has raised my suspicion. Shortly after Dr. Castagna was hired, I asked him to conduct a preliminary investigation into the district's mid-year security contract change. This included discussions with the previous vendor and reports that they've experienced from their experiences. Amid the investigation, he also noticed discrepancies in the district bus contract and an unusually 7-year term agreement. I'm requesting that any findings of Dr. Castagna's investigation into either contract be reported to the appropriate state agencies for a more thorough review. In addition, I'm requesting for the board to conduct a forensic financial audit on our previous past 4-year budgets so that we can make informed decisions while we navigate our budget process. How can we as board members face decisions like possibly eliminating teaching jobs and raising taxes before knowing exactly what caused this district to get here? And with that being said, board members, I would like to make the following motion. A motion to amend tonight's agenda to include a motion to approve an RFP to conduct a financial audit to be added to the April 20th legislative session.
Is there a motion?
Make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Flanagan Bay. Is there a second?
That's it.
Second by Mr. Scott. Are there any questions?
What's the cost of something like that? Any idea?
I really don't have any idea. If you're looking for a forensic audit, Ms. Reed, because I think it's from a forensics perspective, they have to look for something that's like criminal. And I really have no idea what that would cost.
I think if you're calling out an audit, whether it's forensic or, just ordering like audit through a Deloitte from downtown or something like that, you define the terms of that. So I think if you're gonna open up for RFPs, you would have to define what would include that RFP. You know what I mean? What specifically do you want that to look for? Or is it a general forensic audit? Because that could go a lot of different directions, just something to think about.
Okay. And that's something that we will work on over the week to put on the agenda?
Well, I think there's a motion, a second, to add that motion. If that motion gets approved, then you're gonna define what specifically those terms should look like in the RFP to Ms. Schaefer, so when she puts it out, it's not just a blanket.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, because I think whatever you're looking for too, you want to make sure it's outside the scope of what we regularly get audited on.
Right. Right.
Excellent.
And another reason why I'm saying this is because even as a community member, I've asked for this, and even when it gets time, whenever it's our budget season, this usually comes up. I haven't heard of it being addressed, so that's why another reason why I'm bringing it up as well.
We
So,
can
we
make the
do-
motion with the language to include scope and guidelines to be determined, and then we can work on that
Okay.
prior to next week. So,
So that would include knowing how much it would cost as well, right?
Yep.
And, okay. That's good.
yep. Okay, so the motion has been made, language has been clarified. Any other questions on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Dr. McMillan?
Yes.
Ms. Curry? Yes. Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Flanagan Bay?
Yes.
Ms. Lawson? Ms. Lawson? No, she's there. There she is. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Creech?
Yes.
Mr. Belmont?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was doing an emergency. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yes, that's a yes. I'm sorry, I wasn't clear.
Okay, anything else under new business? All righty, moving on to committee reports. Okay, Ms. Scott, can you see the?
Yep.
Okay,
Sorry, I was just,
We're on the
it
curriculum.
took me a minute to open up the attachment. For this month's curriculum committee agenda items, we had the presentation from Vex Robotics about the STEAM curriculum that we're hoping to implement for our scholars. We voted on that earlier tonight. As Mr. Wilson stated, I also had the pleasure of attending a meeting with the team at Vex at their offices downtown, and I'm really impressed by the quality of the product that they have, as well as the really thoughtful curriculum and the support that they offer for our teachers and staff. So that was exciting to have them come and present at our committee meeting as well. We heard the annual report from the Swissvale librarian, Dr. Coluccio, and there was a agenda item for the just discipline model that Don Golden brought forth to our committee.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Scott. Pupil personnel.
No, I don't think there's any. I wonder committee reports.
Yeah, we're on community reports.
Oh, is there?
Click on the left there, pupil personnel.
This one?
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh, Ms. Golden, the learn and earn. I'm sorry, apologize. Yeah, this is,
Yeah.
I missed the meeting. I apologize, Dawn.
The board member that's committee
Yeah.
chair.
You wanna?
I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Dr.
I'm
You wanna-
having deja
you wanna
vu.
read the items?
Yes, I did miss that meeting, so I apologize.
So you're asking Dawn to help?
I think.
Yeah.
So it was the learn and earn.
Mhm. That's okay. I'll do it for you.
Yeah, it was just,
I'm just looking for somebody to tell me about the learning.
Pupil.
Ms. Golden, if you could just briefly recap the learn and earn, and I don't think anybody is upset with the nurse's old equipment, but you might want to touch base on that.
Yeah, so those were the two things that I brought to the board this evening for consideration and approval. Those were the same items that I brought to the board committee. Again, the Learn and Earn is the program that allows our students to take part in a summer employment program. We are a work site for that program. Again, thanks to Mr. Finney. And in addition to us being a work site, Auberly also collects applications for other students to participate in other work sites.
Okay, thank you. Ms.
You're
Moore.
welcome.
Appreciate that. And special education.
I didn't attend that full meeting. I do see something here for cerebral palsy awareness month. And I'm sorry, Ms. Sackles.
I was just telling Penny, like, this is a week ago. I don't even remember.
I know.
Yes, we did celebrate.
It was a long week.
We did celebrate Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month last month, and we did have an author come in to two of our elementary school buildings to read a book that she had written about her grandson that has cerebral palsy. So the author went into some of the regular education classrooms and shared the book with them. And we purchased a book for every classroom library, as well as, and the author donated a book to each of the building libraries. I also talked about our ESY program that will be occurring this summer, June 13th through July 1st. It will be at Turtle Creek STEAM Academy from 8 o'clock until 1:30. PASA tests. The PASA test is the alternate assessment test, like the PSSAs, but for children that have cognitive disabilities. That window is open right now, and it will remain open until mid-May.
Okay, thank you. Athletics. Terry, you're up on athletics. Do you want me to read that for you?
Yeah, I'm good. Athletics, they discuss youth league sports curriculum, academic standards, 9 weeks versus the 6-week grading period, teachers accepting late work and limits, and you can see the attachments for the sports rosters and the GPAs.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lawson.
You're welcome.
Finance, we discussed the budget, and transportation.
That's what we discussed earlier tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, this board does this. I apologize.
Yeah, that's all right.
Ms. Schaefer
I'm trying to
always
get
takes it
through.
over here.
Transportation, we had additional, as we indicated earlier, discussion on additional bus companies. And beyond that, facilities. We discussed the additional heating ventilation update at Wilkins. We're comparing classroom square footage, cost upgrades. There's discussion about the high school in Graver, and there was some money issues there, but SiteLogic took care of that for us. And that was it on facilities. Any other questions concerning committee reports?
Well, no, we mentioned just under personnel, we did talk about kind of, we put out there.
Oh, yeah.
The superintendent search, you know, that's something that clearly has been on our radar. We're kind of, you know, going about the process of looking about what that's going to look like. You know, I would anticipate probably the first steps of that coming relatively soon. And we probably will, you know, that would probably be in the course of a survey something along those lines. And then we definitely talked about communicating what it is that we would like to see as far as that process goes and how we want to kind of roll that out and what the first steps of that would be. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there because it was on the personnel part of it.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay.
Can I offer, I'm sorry, Mr. Belmont, can I
sure.
offer a brief update on Forbes Road Career and Technical Center?
Absolutely.
So in March, on the 17th, they hosted a very well-attended open house. We're really excited to be able to offer that again in person this year after the weird, wonky pandemic years. Also coming up in this month for Forbes Road is our meeting on the 28th, which Mr. Belmont will be attending in my absence. And that will be the preliminary budget presentation. So just like we're sort of in the beginnings of our budgeting plans for the year, they're in the same page. So I just wanted to offer that update as well. And I will also report that 2 of their programs are already enrolled at capacity for the upcoming school year. And those were the vet tech program and cosmetology. So doing really well over there, enrollment's up, and lots of good products coming out of Forbes Road.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Scott. Alrighty, moving on to public comment. Is there anybody who would like to address the board? If you would, please state your name, your address, and please hold your remarks to 2 minutes. And please don't say anything disparaging of personnel or board members.
I understand. Jonathan Jeffers, 664 Mercer Street in Turtle Creek. I have a question. Is the board and administration aware of a video being disseminated throughout the district through parents and staff members of a security personnel appearing to assault a student at Dixon Middle School yesterday afternoon? And in regards to that, is anything planned to be done?
We don't go back and forth in this particular forum, but
Okay.
we can look into that and note your concerns and get back to you.
Oh, understood. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Are there any other public comments?
Hi, Natalie Watson, 1272 Britton Road, Braddock Hills. I sent this to the board members and also to Dr. Castagna earlier, and I'm just going to read a clip of it. I'm here representing now over 75 plus families and community members, including some elected officials in multiple boroughs that are part of Woodland Hills School District. We've been quietly asking around, and as of today, we have calculated that over $500,000 will leave the Woodland Hills School District due to families removing their children from both Dixon and the elementary schools for charter schools unless Dr. Pert, Dixon principal, is removed. We are aware that it costs the district approximately $12,000 a child and $48,000 per IEP child for them to be outside of the Woodland Hills School District. Parochial schools and private school exodus was not factored into this sum. However, that too will be happening. And this is only what we have quietly been asking around. This was not anything that was put up as a survey on any kind of website or anything. This is just over 75 plus families, including community members, including elected officials that are part of multiple boroughs that are part of this school district that would like to have Dr. Pert removed. We have been sending emails. I know that Ms. Reed, you just mentioned that, wanting to have an audit because community members have been asking for that. We are asking for the removal of Dr. Pert formally and publicly now. Excuse me, my phone just went off. We're unfortunately to the point where children are being denied the right to receive a safe public education at Dixon Middle School due to the actions of one administrator and the Woodland Hills Board who is not acting. Parents are organizing. We are considering all of our options and how we can best save our school district from these destructive practices. We are made up of white families, Black families, Latinx families. I'm just here representing because it doesn't work to have 75 families here. But we really would like this to be addressed in the executive session. We know
Ms. Watson.
that there are personnel matters that cannot be given
Ms.
to us
Watson,
because it's confidential.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other public comments?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Audra Hamlet. My address is 217 North Avenue, Chalfont Borough. My daughter goes to the high school, so fortunately I don't have to deal with the middle school, but I would love to see Principal Mann's hired because I think she does a wonderful job and it's about time. Also, what else did I want to say? Oh, yes, this place is starting to feel like it's being ran as part of a RICO Act type of like indictment. Like, and if you don't know what the RICO Act is, please look it up. It's like a continuing criminal enterprise. That's what it's starting to feel like a soap opera with a couple splashes of child abuse mixed in. There is a video going around. I will happily send it to you. If you focus in at the very end, you will see what everyone's talking about, where it looks like a child was hit by the security guard. But could we please do something? I'm kind of tired of being on the news and being part of the RICO Act. That's what this literally is starting to feel like. You all say you're smarter than us. It's really not showing through. So please show me that you're smarter than me or smarter than a fifth grader, kindergartner, whomever, do something. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comment? Okay. Okay, thank you. Ms. Alfieri?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, I don't think my camera's working, which is probably a good thing, but I know I can't really ask a question that comes back, but same thing. So my son will be going to the high school in the fall, and I have been following Principal Mann's just from her school Facebook page, and just very impressed. And I was hoping at this point that she could no longer be interim, but be the official principal. And so maybe at the next meeting or when you can sort of talk about that to the public to let us know what is happening there, if there's still a continued search, or if what she has done has demonstrated that she is, in fact, seems like a fantastic leader. And I hope that she will be made official. That was it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wilson, is there anybody else with their hand up? Okay, I don't see anybody here. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Moved by Ms. Reed, second by Dr. Millen. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.